What's going on, everybody, and welcome to day 29 of our Juniper Networking series. In today's video, we will be talking about another cybersecurity concept, and that is going to be disabling our unused switch ports. So anyone that is able to plug into any of these Ethernet ports is going to get access to our network. And we as cybersecurity experts and also network engineers want to secure our network as much as possible. So we want to keep malicious users and machines and also unauthorized users off of our network. And we may adopt a security in-depth type of architecture. So we may disable these switch ports, as well as look at using MAC limiting, which is another cybersecurity concept that we touched on earlier in this series. So learning the MAC limiting as well as disabling these unused switch ports is going to give us different layers of security, and that is what we consider a defense in-depth architecture. And there's always trade-offs when adding security to your networks. For example, in this scenario, if we disable all of our unused switch ports, a network engineer who may not know this may try to plug an Ethernet cable into one of the ports, and then the lights won't come up. So then they have to console in and troubleshoot from there. And that's really not a hard troubleshooting step to figure out if the switch port is administratively down, but it's just another step that you would have to take if you were to connect a new computer, printer, or any end device into your network. And most of the time, these switches are behind some type of locked door to secure them even more. But if somebody is able to get into that door, maybe the door is unlocked, anything could happen. So you want to, like I said, adopt a security in-depth type of concept and architecture and be able to further secure your network. So let's go ahead and hop into this video on disabling unused switch ports. Let's get into it. So before we hop onto the CLI, let's say I have my computer off of this Ethernet cord that has some attacks that I'm going to run on this organization, and they did not disable their unused switch ports, and I'm able to just come into the network closet somehow and plug my computer right into the network. And this may be a no-no in certain organizations that do want to implement as much security as possible. Maybe this is overkill for your organization. We never know, and there are definitely different use cases for each organization, and that is why people are hired as cybersecurity analysts and network engineers to be able to discuss these things and sort out what is needed for the exact enterprise that you're working for. So let's hop onto the CLI now and get started. All right, so we have our switch up, and let's go ahead and lay out the requirements before we hop into the video. So we want to disable the GE000 and also the GE001 interfaces for this video. So we just plugged into the GE000 interface. So let's do a show interfaces first to see what we have right now. So the GE000 interface, as we can see, the link is up. So we have link lights, and we also have the administrative up. So the link is just at layer 1, but the administrative is what we control as network administrators. And that is what we're going to be manipulating within this video. So we're going to have this as down for GE000 and also down for GE001. So let's go ahead and hop into doing that now. We have link lights. So let's do an edit, and let's do a set interfaces GE000. And if we do a context sensitive help, we see that we have this disable option, which disables the interface. So let's go ahead and do that. Hit enter there, and let's hit the up arrow, and let's change the last 0 to a 1 and do disable again. And let's do a show pipe compare. And in this output and our candidate config, we can see that we are going to be adding the disable statement to the GE000 and also the GE001 interfaces. So let's go ahead and do a commit and quit. And I'm also going to pull out my phone as soon as I hit enter, so we can see in real time this interface go down. So right now we have link lights at layer 1, but we just administratively disabled this interface. So we have our camera up now on this port. We still have link lights. And I swear, when I try to hold my camera still, for some reason, my arm is shaking. I don't know why. But now we can see that those link lights have went down and that configuration commit was successful. So now we no longer have link lights. So if I was to change and plug into the GE002 interface as well, we do not get link light. But let's try to go into one of these other interfaces. Let's say, for example, let's just go into this one. Will I get link lights? And yep, as soon as I plug in, I get link lights. So that is administratively disabling some of our switch ports. So now that we're back on the CLI, let's do a show interfaces first to get the output. I don't even know which interface I'm connected into. Which interface am I? I'm in the 8 port. Yeah, so the GE008 port, we are administratively up, and we do have link lights here on the GE008. That is the one that we are plugged into. So I want to ask you guys a quick question. How would you disable multiple interfaces if you have to? Pause the video and drop it down in the comments right now. So now let's check out the command and see if you got the answer right. So what I would do is I would do the set interfaces, interface range, and I would name the group of interfaces. So I would say, for example, disabled INTs for disabled interfaces. And now let's go in and specify those interfaces. So we would do GE0/0/ and I would put this bracket, and I would put 10 through 20 and put this other bracket and hit enter there. So I got a syntax error. I think I forgot to put the member option. So we want to specify that this would be a member. Okay, so let me go all the way back. Member, and we want to do GE0/0/10 through 20. All right, and that command was taken. So if I do a show pipe compare now, we have curated this group of interfaces, which is 10 through 20, and let's do a commit and quit. So that commit was successful, and we have grouped all of these interfaces into a single group. So now we can run just one command, and that will take effect on all of these interfaces. Let's do an edit. Let's do a set interfaces, interface range, and let's specify that group of disabled interfaces, and let's type disable and hit enter there. And now let's do a commit and quit. Alright, so now let's do a show interfaces first to make sure that those interfaces are administratively down. So if I do a show interfaces first, the GE0010, which starts right here, right here, I'm sorry, 10 all the way down to 20. If we take a look at the administrative column, they are all in the down state. So I appreciate you guys tuning into day 29 of our Juniper Networking series. I hope to see you in day 30. But until then, peace out.